Hello, John.
Good evening. It's July 22nd, 2025. We're in Studio 6C. It's Tuesday, and it's my pleasure and distinct honor to be speaking with Mr. John J. Jeckovich. How are you doing today?
Great, thank you.
You're looking well.
Thank you.
I heard you had so many visitors today.
Yeah.
Who'd you have? Tell me.
And Amber.
Yeah. And who else?
Who's the other one?
Well, you're scaring me now. You already forgot?
Who was that?
Nancy.
Who?
Oh, Nancy. Yeah,
you can't miss
Nancy.
her.
Yeah. I was surprised to see Nancy, yeah.
She's your friend of 40 years.
Huh?
She's your friend of 40 years. She's a nice lady.
Yeah. I did a lot for Nancy, yeah.
She's a wonderful lady. Let me see what she just said to me about you. She said, I love the relationship Amber and John have.
Oh, boy.
She says, listen, it sparks them up and good for her too. I could sense the immediate connection as soon as I walked in the door. See, she sensed the connection of you and Amber like two peas in a pod.
Oh, boy.
Listen, this is the grand finale here. I am blessed in my life to have connected with John and Dell. How lucky for me.
Yeah. I don't know where we met her.
You met her through Joanne.
Oh, yeah, Joanne.
50 years
yeah.
ago.
That was Joanne's friend, yeah.
Yeah, and then she became your friend.
Yeah.
So isn't that nice?
I go and do all I work for her and everything.
Yeah, you help with the fans, and she has a real good fan story I told you about. And is there any more texts that came in?
Yeah, this one came in.
All right, let me read it. Got another text. You want me to read it to you, Mr. Jeckovich?
Why?
Another text came in. You want me to read it to you?
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's see. This is 35 minutes ago. The conditions these men, meaning Mr. Jeckovich, had to deal with in December of 1944 was horrible. I couldn't imagine. The teenager of that generation had to overcome the Great Depression, that's a good point, before even going to war. I didn't think about that. That teenager had to overcome the Great Depression before going to war. At 100 years old in 2025, this man, meaning Mr. Jeckovich, is a wealth of knowledge, I am certain. Thank you, John Jeckovich, for the service and contributions to humanity and society. That's so nice.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, we got a couple more. What time these ones come in? Yeah, they do appreciate you. This one's from Texas. Hello, Mr. Jeckovich. I was watching your video, and you are a true hero. Thank you and your service. And then furthermore, your generation sacrificed and created a beautiful world for us to live in. May you live 100 more years.
Oh, boy.
How you like that? That's a nice thing.
That's a good one, yeah.
May you live 100 more years. Mr. Jeckovich says he blinked his eyes at 20 years old, and now he's 100. What the hell happened to 80 years?
Who knows?
Man. Wow. You're in really damn good shape. You really are. Reads through newspapers in the morning without glasses. Could shake your hand and knock you to the ground. And always been through, like the text said, the Great Depression, teenage boy, World War II, drafted, frontline combat, shot in the shoulder by a sniper, lost a hip, beat up, stabbed, trench foot, frostbite, and still a shrapnel on his body from a dirty bomb that popped him. Wow, 3 months in a Paris hospital. And back then, things were different back then. If you're able to squeeze the machine gun trigger with your index finger, and you're able to walk, what are you considered?
Fit for duty.
Fit for duty. Send his ass right back to the front line. Yeah. And they did. Wow. We wonder why, you wonder why they call this the greatest generation of all times. Take a look. Without people like this, we'd be speaking German. I assure you that. Wow. Yeah, and all these beautiful text messages come flowing in every day, and I do apologize, we don't read them all, but, you know, I do apologize, we don't read them all, but we're doing our best to. You know, this generation, these guys were part of the most selfless and courageous operation in the history of mankind. Mr. Jeckovich left his house to help out complete strangers with whom they had nothing in common. You didn't know anybody in Europe. Nobody.
No.
But you did leave your house. So how can we today be worthy of their legacy? Someone text me and tell me how today we could be worthy of their legacy. Imagine that. Wow. And we talked earlier, and we always get texts that everyone is aware there's always going to be wars. We're never going to be without wars. There's been 1,000 years before us of wars, and there'll be 1,000 years ahead of us of wars, right?
All right.
You gotta, mothers, you gotta make your sons tough. Your mother made you tough, right?
Yeah.
Your mother made you very tough.
Yeah. Well, she was tough.
She was tough, old country tough. Didn't crack a smile. Didn't crack a smile. But your buddy, Donald Lape, he was a fine teenage boy. He wasn't tough.
No.
He wasn't street smart like you. You were taking care of your mother since the age of 11 because your father died by about 40 years old, working 3 jobs, a legal immigrant that came through Ellis Island, did everything the right way, and only wanted to provide a better life for his family and give back to New York State. They built New York State brick by brick by brick, board by board by board. But his father, 3 jobs, was working like a slave, died of exhaustion at the age of 40 with a massive heart attack. So at that point there, Mr. Jeckovich started taking care of his mother, so he was raised tough. Now, Donald Lape was a fine young boy, but he wasn't raised tough. He had it pretty easy at home, didn't he?
Never?
Donald Lape had it pretty easy at home, didn't he?
Oh, yeah.
What finally happened to him?
Well,
What finally happened to your buddy in World War II, Donald Lape? Donald Lape.
he got his head blown off.
Got his head blown off. That same dirty bomb, what's a dirty bomb?
Dirty bomb, screwdriver, nails, razor blades, all that stuff.
Yeah. The evil Nazis would pack a bomb and they'd put old razor blades in it, screwdrivers, old tools, anything metal that could do the most destruction to these young American boys. That one bomb hit Donald Lape. But what did you keep on telling Donald Lape not to do? What did you tell Donald Lape? You told him all the time what not to do.
Don't put your head down. Don't, you don't want to see, you know what's over there. Put your head down.
And how would show us how he would do it.
He knew it, yeah.
Show us how. And
He walked like this.
then one time he went up and that was
One
it.
time, some German had him zeroed in, and when he
that was
popped
it.
his head up, and they blew him off.
Blew his head off, and that same shrapnel is still in his body. So you have to make your kids tough, your boys tough, Mom, because if you sissify them and you make them into whips, they won't survive. There's always going to be wars, believe me. Wars are not going away. Let's speak of reality and not of this nonsense. There's always going to be wars. Make your boys tough. Don't sissify them. Don't make them into wimps. It's very important you be tough with your boys. Otherwise, in war, they probably won't last. And when you're pushing up daisies, Mom, which will come sooner than you think, they won't survive. They won't be able to survive. Mothers have to remember, you have to treat your boys and teach them to be like a lion and a fox. The fox is smart enough to recognize traps. The fox is smart enough to recognize traps. And a lion is strong enough to scare away the wolves. Be like a lion and fox, and no one will ever beat your sons. Be like a lion and a fox. Teach your mom for your kids to be like a lion and fox, and no one will ever beat them. No one will ever beat them. Yeah. Mr. Jeckovich was from Company H, the 2nd Battalion of the 291st Regiment of the 75th Infantry Division of the U.S. Army during World War II. Mr. Jeckovich lives by the motto, he's got 2 doctors, his left leg and his right leg. 2 doctors, left leg and right leg. You jogged for 80 years, didn't you?
Huh?
You jogged for 80 years.
Yeah.
Wow. Jogged for 80 years. Wow. When you start jogging 80 years ago, it was not fashionable. It was not acceptable. People would do what?
Get out the road, you bum.
They'd see you in your old corduroy pants, your t-shirt or an old sweatshirt and boots. They'd say, get out of the road, you old bum.
Yeah.
Can't you afford a car?
Yeah.
They were ignorant of the fact they're ignorant. They thought Mr. Jeckovich was running for transportation, but he was running for health. What did they throw at you?
Everything. Stones,
Yeah.
paper beer cans.
Yeah, they threw empty cans of Genesee at him. One time some character popped him in the head with a full can of Campbell's soup. But today, times have changed. You were before your time. Now everyone's jogging.
Yeah.
But what got you jogging?
I read a book by Johnson by running. He said, run a distance every day to increase it. Don't run and stop. Don't run and stop.
What advice would you give the young people today?
I said, know what you're doing, leave a clean, regular life, and go running.
Yeah. Well, it sure did you well. 80 years, reads 3 papers, new glasses, no glasses, knock your head down when he shakes it. Knees blew out, paratrooping, had a couple hard hits, but jogging for 80 years and blow out your knees, but the trade-off was worth it because you still have a good, productive, healthy life. You do. Yeah. By the way, boys and girls, if you're 40 years old right now or so, you have about a 5% chance to make it to 100. 5% chance to make it 100. I don't know anyone that's 100 besides Mr. Jeckovich. I truly don't. And it's a nice lifestyle too. It's a good quality of life. Yeah. That's amazing. Would you like me to read a little bit more of your diary?
What?
Would you like me to read a little bit more of the diary, or you want me to try to read some of the text messages?
Send text messages.
Well, let's do the diary.
Well,
Finish that diary first.
all right. What's the minutes on this office here, or whatever the hell they call it? I know we only rent it for 30 minutes at a time, and they will shut you down.
16 and a
They'll
half.
shut you down in 30 minutes, I can tell you that. Show me where the hell I was.
Right here.
All right, give me this. Okay, diary, 1 January 1945. New Year's Day, 1945. Wow. Let's see, there's not going to be no celebrations there. I'm not going to show you that. Not much to celebrate here. Here we go.
Do you remember what you were doing in 1940?
No, yeah, I remember it,
What
yeah.
was it like, John?
Huh?
What was it like?
It was cold and damp.
Yeah. The intense cold and the fatigue were beginning to tell. In foxholes now, for 4 days, the men began to complain of the lack of feeling in their hands and feet. Yeah.
You're getting frostbite.
You're suffering right this minute.
Yeah, right now, yeah, 7.
What's your pain level right now?
7.
What's your pain level in the evenings?
About 7. It's
80?
I don't feel the daytime because I'm moving around, but
Yeah.
then when I sleep, I get
80 long years later, this man is still in pain. That morning, the C Company saw their first German soldier. The 3rd platoon captured one of the supermen who apparently got tired of giving his all for the Fuhrer. Ah, the Fuhrer. He came out of the woods with his hands up and calmly gave up. I Company 291st Infantry was ordered into town of Manhay, and they took up the defensive position surrounding the town. During the stay at Manhay, the company received its first casualties. 5th January. 5 January 1945. The date saw the regiment pulled back and move on to Crepe, Spa, Belgium for a well-deserved rest. The troops drank the local beer. How was the local beer there?
Warm.
Warm, yeah. And bargained
I didn't
for...
drink it. They tell me it was warm.
Uh-huh. Okay, I understand. You didn't drink it, right?
No.
Oh, by the way, Mr. Jeckovich never drank or smoked in his life. Never took a prescription or even a vitamin. Weapons are cleaned and equipment readied for the next assignment, which the men knew would not be long in coming. 9 January 1945. Following 3 days of rest, of baths, clean clothes, and hot meals, the regiment left Crepe Spa in the early hours of the evening of January 9th, marching for 11 hours over 22 miles of icy roads and knee-deep snow. Snow is always high, right?
Yeah.
Roads are slippery.
Yeah.
Was there many of the snows? Was there many of the roads that have a slope into them that it was hard to make it up because of the ice?
What?
Was it hard to walk on the icy roads?
Yeah.
Was you slipping all the time?
Oh, yeah.
This hike lasted all through the night, and it shall never be forgotten by the men who made it. It was bitter cold, and marching had to be done on roads that were icy. On country roads that were filled with snow, across fields, through snow drifts, sometimes 2 feet deep. Wow. 10 January 1945 diary. That afternoon of January 10th found the regiment on the move again. The 291st was to move up 8 miles to relieve the elements of the 82nd Airborne Division. This second phase was not so much a march as a mass movement. Every possible means of transportation was employed. Jeeps carried 10 men and trailers 20. So you piled 10 men in a Jeep.
Yeah.
Were
Holy.
you in the Jeep or a Jeep?
Or a trailer.
Or a trailer?
Jeeps pull a trailer.
Yeah.
Each Jeep had a trailer.
Jeeps carried 10 men and trailers 20. 1st Battalion looked defensive positions at Furness, Belgium.
12 minutes.
The battalion moved into the outskirts of Petit Halleux. Halleaux. Halleux, okay, thank you. And the 2nd Battalion moved the regimental base near Bassy, Bordeaux. 11 January 1945 diary. Completing relief of the 82nd Airborne Division, the next few days were spent in sending out patrols and preparing for an attack on the enemy near Grand Halleux. Were you ever in many of those patrols?
Oh, I had run on patrols all the time.
Did you see a lot of action on those patrols?
Oh?
Did you see a lot of activity on those patrols?
Well, you were running one of their patrols, yeah.
15 January 1945. On the morning of January 15th, the 291st Regiment went into its first attack as a regiment. The objective was high ground outside Grand Halleux, where the enemy was strongly entrenched. 1st Battalion, jumping off at 0730 hours, A Company encountered heavy enemy machine gun and mortar fire and was pinned down most of the day. Company B jumped off just before dawn, but met stiff resistance. C Company objective was the high cliff outside Grand Halleux, which was taken at 1100 hours, with the other 2 companies unable to advance. C Company was ordered to withdraw, but under the suggestion of the CO, now Major Alan Borgadus, orders were changed and C Company prepared to hold their new gains. newly won games. Okay. Did you ever do boat training there?
Huh?
Boat training? Boat?
Boats?
Yeah. You ever train on a boat?
Rubber boats, yeah.
Okay. 15 January 1945 diary. The 2nd Battalion was exposed left flank attack from the Grand Hallux towards Petit. With the F Company in reserve. Both companies were pinned down during the day by heavy enemy fire. You're pinned down many days by heavy enemy fire, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. 3rd Battalion Company, I received attack orders during the night of the 15th to attack at 0700 to 16th of January. The company's sector was in the 2nd Battalion area. The battalion having been held by intense enemy fire the previous day. Company K, 291st Infantry, was on I Company left when attack was made. The first objective was over 400 yards of bare, open ground, which was swept by well-hidden enemy machine gun and sniper fire. The company gained its objective, but the cost was heavy.
8 minutes.
16 January 1945 diary. The entire 1st Battalion resumed the attack on the morning of the 16th. The Germans had fallen to previously prepared positions. An assault against these positions by Company A was determinedly resisted. Finally, with the aid of several light tanks, the troops swept forward several thousand yards, meeting sporadic resistance and halting only in the face of darkness. The entire battalion was able to advance this day on to WWII. 17 January 1945 diary. Late afternoon found Company C men entering the town of Ville-du-Bois. 1st Battalion troops found their town abandoned except for a handful of Jerry's, who had no fight at all left in them. A lot of those Nazis were getting petered out, right?
Yeah.
They were worn out.
Oh, yeah.
After clearing the town, outposts were set up the night. Each man had a chance to get some sleep, dry his clothing, and try to get warm. 2nd and 3rd Battalions, during the 3rd day, 2nd and 3rd Battalions, during the 3rd day, battalion occupied Petit Thier, which was the 2nd Battalion moved across the roads at Panawax, where a roadblock was established. 20 January 1945 diary. Following the taking of Petit Thier, 3rd Battalion moved to Bec, Belgium, and relieved elements of the 289th Infantry on the right flank of the division. The next morning, the battalion jumped into the attack towards Aldringen. Moving through the woods all day, the battalion met only small pockets of resistance. At dusk, the battalion held up to reorganize. Were you reorganizing always a lot?
Yeah.
Were you setting up new deals? Yeah. Company, I then moved on. What did you camouflage yourself with in the snow?
Sheet. It took a sheet, somebody's sheet off the bed.
And then you wrapped that around yourself
Yeah.
to blend in with the snow?
Yeah.
Yeah. Company I then moved on toward the objective with the aid of tank support, and the battalion took defensive positions just south of Aldringen. The town of Kmanster was entered
5 minutes, 5.5.
was entered and cleared by Company B in the early afternoon of the 17th. On January 22nd at 1200 hours, 1st Battalion launched an offensive against the town of Muldingen. Wow. That place was destroyed. There was nothing left of those buildings.
Yeah, well, they bombed the hell out of it.
Bombed the hell out of them. Just 2 miles of St. Vith. The attack was to begin at noon. B Company was to push through. C Company and capture high ground in front of the town. Company A was to follow B Company and then swing to the right and set up a couple hundred yards east of the town. Company C was to move forward just a few minutes behind Company A and move into the town and clean it out. Despite heavy enemy shelling, the town was taken on the 24th. 3rd Battalion with a Company F attached continued to attack on Aldrin. On the 24th, Company F moved through Beho to attack Aldrin. Casualties in the attack were heavy, but the town was cleared and a defensive set up. After these bitterly contested battles waged in sub-zero weather, it was sub-zero all the time,
Yeah.
and deep snow, the 291st Infantry mission in the Ardennes was completed. The regiment had taken its part in pushing the Wehrmacht and flattening the Bulge. This was accomplished through days of misery due to waist-deep snow and cold. Waist-deep snow. Minutes?
Just under 4.
26 January 1945, diary. This day found 291st men relieved of their offensive in the Ardennes and preparing to board 40 and 8s for what they thought would be the rest area. Followed by 2 miserable cold days on the train down to Colmar Pocket in France. This was no rest area, but another pocket to be cleaned out. Detraining at Frapple, France, on the evening of the 28th of January, the regiment was assembled in the woods outside of Wideware on the 30th.
Do you remember that train ride?
Yeah.
What was that like? Oh,
It's farm towns.
Is it just like cattle cars, no windows, you just stand up, they close the doors on you?
Yeah.
1 February 1945, reliving elements of the 3rd Division on January 31st, the 291st Infantry again went into attack on the 1st of February. 1st Battalion and 2nd Battalion were coordinated attack near Fortschwer in the direction of the Rhine. The shelling was intense. The Germans were fighting desperately as they were being hemmed into all sides of the Colmar Pocket. The shelling was coming from the fortress city of Neufbruch, which guarded the last escape bridge over the Rhine. It was the only way the Jerries could get across the Rhine, thus desperate struggle that was put.
That's it, huh?
Put up. Minutes? Pushing on through the woods, Company C reached a large open field and saw
just under 2. Just under 2.
Saw a fortified city of Wolfingen about a mile away. Wolfingen was a key city to walled fortress to the town of Neufbruch. The battalion had progressed steadily through the untangled thickets, but was halted in the early afternoon by heavy enemy encounters. So one of the biggest problem was the cold weather, right?
Yeah. And getting shot at.
Huh?
And getting shot at.
Yeah, you sure did get shot on. You got hit a lot. Yeah, you're lucky you made it, but the snow was waist deep in some places.
Yeah.
So every foot was a struggle.
Yeah.
Minutes.
1. Were you walking through on a road that was paved, or was it all you were walking in snow?
Yeah.
You were just walking in snow, right?
Yeah, they weren't plowed or nothing. They were all just snow calmed down and stayed there.
And that's where you got the frostbite from.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
40 seconds.
Were you using your machine gun then, or your M1?
Pardon?
Were you using your machine guns then, or your M1?
We were a heavy weapons outfit.
So you always carried a machine gun?
Air cooled, water cooled.
Yeah.
We had water cooled.
And during the freezing weather, how'd you
Antifreeze.
And that's what you probably used was a heavy duty machine gun, right?
Yeah.
Minutes.
10 seconds.
And right now, you're frostbite.
Bugging you.
Is it bothering you right now?
Yeah, 7.
I'll be damned.
And it gets worse at night.
Yeah.
All right, well,